What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. In this video, we are jumping into Betsy Braddock, Captain Britain, issue number 1. And it's been a little while since we have seen Betsy. The last time we saw her was inside the pages of Knights of X. After toiling for months to defend Otherworld from the anti-mutant crusade of Merlin, Betsy left the provinces to govern themselves. Divorcing the role of Captain Britain from its traditional place, she remains the defender of Otherworld from all outside threats, with no Starlight Citadel to watch over all the universes that connect to Otherworld. That means defending the multiverse as well, building up a couple of allies, and the Captain Britain Corps remaining very strong. There are still many issues inside the UK that aren't happy that Betsy is still Captain Britain. Now, make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel, make sure that you like this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we pick up with this issue, we are picking up with Betsy having a conversation on the news. Because here in Britain, people are questioning the idea that Betsy is still calling herself Captain Britain. The truth is, she is not in the favor of Britain at all. Because the UK, they do not recognize Krakoa as a nation. In fact, they have been actively working to bring down mutant kind. Here debating this topic is also Micromax. He is here to be the voice against Captain Britain, having another mutant here, another one that is native to UK, asking why are you not wearing a Union Jack or anything of that nature? Why should you be called Captain Britain at all? Really, this is just an opportunity to smear Betsy. The truth is, Britain doesn't like Betsy. They do not like mutants. So the fact that she is Captain Britain is something that they're not necessarily happy about, especially when she's not here in Britain helping the British people. In the midst of this conversation, this is where she gets a message. Somebody out in the multiverse, they need help. A Captain Britain out there, they need assistance. That is what brings us to Earth 99476. It brings us to our prehistoric Captain Britain, known as Britannica Rex. We are seeing the meteors fall from the sky. The land that this T-Rex had once seen is now burning. She had left to join the Captain Britain Corps to fight in Otherworld, coming back to her homeworld only to find that it is in flames. That is where we have the arrival of Betsy and Rachel Summers. They have come in to rescue this dinosaur world. For centuries, they had been told on this planet that this may happen, that eventually there would be a catastrophic event where fire would fall from the sky and make the world unlivable for their kind. But when they go to the impact crater, what they find is a fury, very puny in comparison to the ones that they had fought in Otherworld, the ones that took on the form of sentinels. But as it begins to get up, it immediately attacks the Captain Britons, them trying to figure out exactly what this thing wants and what it is up to. The Fury's job is to kill the superpowered and to raise hell for Captain Britain. This is where Rachel Summers comes in. She's been trying a new thing where she can call upon a small piece of Phoenix fire from the multiverse. She uses this and she blasts the Fury into a tar pit. As it sinks to the bottom, they believe that they had won. As they go and fly off, we see the arm coming up out of the tar pit. But that is what picks us up with Brian, Betsy, and Rachel. They have done a little bit of investigation into this Fury situation. We saw under the control of Merlin, the Furies had changed their mold, made themselves enormous like sentinels. But that also had made them weaker. In this smaller form, they are much more formidable. In fact, this reminds Brian of how he used to fight against ones that looked exactly like this. These things are resistant to almost everything. But these are superhero killers. What they know is that this is not something from Mad Jim. Rachel had done some chrono skimming to try and figure out exactly where it came from. They know that it's not from Earth 238, which is the original Fury world, and it's also not from any other timeline, which means he is from Otherworld. That is where all timelines connect. As they have this conversation, on the outside, we have Jamie Braddock, currently on the Braddock Isle, off of the coast of England. We see him throwing a house up in his hand, just whistling. As soldiers come up to him, he throws the small house that is in his hand, and it quadruples in size, becoming the size of a normal house. Jamie has put this family back where they belong. Everybody had been inside the house this entire time. But that is what takes us over to Coven Aqaba. We have Micromax, who is sitting down with somebody. What we learn is that news interview, that was all planned. It was all staged. It was all made to bring down mutant kind in an effort to undermine Captain Britain and everything that she has done. While they have this conversation, Micromax recognizes that this conversation isn't very friendly, that he may have done what they asked, but they are still very much against mutants. Him being one of them, he shrinks down and he tries to run away, but the hand scoops him up and throws him into a pocket. That hand belonging to none other than Lady Morgan Le Fay. Now, she has been through a lot, being captured by Apocalypse, gotten the taste for the magic of mutant blood. What she wants is her Britain restored. The first thing that means is that she needs a Captain Britain. Merlin is dead, King Arthur is licking his wounds. But what they need is somebody willing to wear the Union Jack and smile for the cameras. Someone who can make people happy. They need somebody that they can control. That is what takes us to Everforge, the Kingdom of the Furies. Captain Britain has come to discuss that fury, to discuss what happened on that Earth with the dinosaurs. But this is the first time that they have talked since the war with Merlin. With the Furies siding with Merlin, Captain Britain does ask, do you have anything to say for those actions? The Furies saying no because Merlin lost. Captain Britain trying to breeze over that little insult, going on to say that one of your Furies is out there in the multiverse causing all kinds of havoc. We know that it came from the Everforge. And with the leader of the Furies making a little comment, a little snide remark, Captain Britain lets it be known that she understands that you are not in my charge, that I don't need to protect you in any way, shape, or form. You guys have made that clear. But you can also easily become my enemy if that is the path we want to take. This is when Rachel Summers, she feels something from their universe. Not sure what this is. She goes to investigate. Pretty much what the Furies leader is telling Captain Britain is that he does not care how many of them are out there causing problems for them. That they encourage fighting, they encourage war. So he is all about it. As far as he is concerned, this is not his problem. That if Captain Britain wants to go out into the multiverse and chase around every single one of their rogue Furies, then they can go do that. This is where Rachel finally discovers what these guys have been hiding. Going to investigate, what they find is a giant banner, the Britain flag flying inside of the Everforge. As they try to detain Rachel Summers, Captain Britain and them, they make a diversion and they get out of here. With the Furies not wanting to start a war with Krakoa over these offenses, they have their own orders to follow, and so they allow them to leave. That is what takes us back to the Isle. We are picking up with Pete Wisdom, leader of Strike. He's coming in, they're having some tea with Captain Britain and Rachel showing up. They begin to have their conversation, and what Captain Britain is asking, she needs Strike to be able to do some investigation onto what is going on. Now, Pete Wisdom, he's not necessarily on the side of Britain per se, after they had stabbed him in the back literally. he's willing to at least help out Captain Britain a little bit, going on to let him know about the Furies of Everforge, letting him know that they have apparently decided to side with the UK here on Earth 616. And so what Betsy is asking is for Strike to find out who did this, who is dealing directly with the Furies. She suspects it is the Coven, asking him to start there. With everybody dismissing themselves from the table, Rachel and Betsy, they head off to bed, really just talking about everything that they have been going through, everything that they have been dealing, and Rachel is saying, set it all to the side. These are all problems that we can deal with tomorrow. Just for tonight, let's relax, let's hang out, let's be in love, and go to sleep. The next day, we have Pete Wisdom meeting up with the rest of his Strike team. But what we also learn is that they have been keeping Excalibur safe. He is worried that the people, the government of Britain, they might be coming for the symbol of Britain. If they get their hands on Excalibur, that could be bad for everybody. So they need to make sure that they keep it safe. Meanwhile, at the Coven HQ, we have Li Fei who is peeping in on some things going on. More specifically, a Fury attack happening in one of the Captain Britain worlds. With Captain Britain waking up, she heads out. Not wasting any time, they go to Earth 5411. This being an almost Wonder Woman type Captain Britain. They find themselves facing off against another Fury. But this one hasn't necessarily come to fight the Captain Britain of this world. This Fury has come to make an offer. It is asking for this Captain Britain service. In exchange, they will spare this reality, and that she will no longer have to be in the service of this false Captain Britain, Betsy Braddock, with all of the captains laughing their butt off. This is where they have incoming of multiple Furies. As Rachel goes to use the Phoenix Fire again, we see that this takes such a heavy toll on her. She is unable to do it, as she goes falling out of the sky because of it. She was able to at least get a little flare up. This flare, it called in the rest of the Captain Britain Corps. That is where we see a green portal open up. And we have Li Fei coming out, laughing at the fact that she brought all of her allies to reject this invitation. But Li Fei says that this does save her some time, because now that she is here, the entire Captain Britain Corps can watch Betsy die, and then she can take on a new captain, one that the people will love, a true captain for Britain. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. You know, I've personally been waiting quite a while for some more Captain Britain ever since the Knights of X had ended. I have thoroughly enjoyed everything of Otherworld, and I am a huge fan of Betsy. So seeing her back in comics, I am 100% here for it, and I am on board. I love that we are getting some multiversal stuff going on, especially when we're talking about Otherworld, where all universes meet. Such a pinnacle point, such an important location. And now we have the Lady Morgan Le Fay, who is coming in to cause all kinds of havoc. And what she wants is to take the name Captain Britain. She wants to take this back and give it back to her people, seeing that mutants aren't humans. At least this is her belief. And so someone like Betsy carrying that mantle is something that she will not tolerate. And she has even gone as far as inscripting the services of the Furies, using these superhero killers to do their bidding. This is an alliance that could very easily backfire on them, but in the current time, this is devastation to the Captain Britain Corps. The Furies are extremely powerful and almost indestructible. And so Captain Britain and her Captain Britain Corps, they are about to have their hands full with what is about to happen. Now, let me know your thoughts, let me know your theories. If you would like to get caught up on everything that has happened with Captain Britain as of late, be sure to check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It'll get you completely caught up on everything that happened in Excalibur and Knights of X. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership, much like Patreon having 5 different tiers, from $1 to $50. From loyalty badges to getting comics every single month. Not only does this help out the channel tremendously, but you are getting tons of perks in the process. Now, if you are unable to do any of that, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.